أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Moments of Reflection with Risalah An-Nur on YouTube as well as Facebook. We as Khairat Foundation have been conducting this program in English as well as in Arabic, 1 week being each. Alhamdulillah, it has been a pleasure to share the important parts of Risalah An-Nur for all the brothers and sisters together to reflect upon, inshallah. So today we have a topic that is important again for everyone. That is about ourselves, about our emotions, about our lives. So inshallah we will discuss why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us our emotions, why human being has so many emotions, and how to manage them, how to use them. And I'm going to discuss this topic with my friend, Brother Yunus Emre Pehliwan. Welcome, Brother Yunus Emre.
Thank you.
Welcome. So I think you can remember Brother Yunus Emre from the previous sessions in which he attended as a moderator. So after that, we changed the format of our program. So he will attend, inshallah, as a speaker from this week on, inshallah. So before starting, let us remind that you can pose your questions on Facebook as well as YouTube. Inshallah, please feel free to share your questions as well as your comments. Okay, so we hope it can be an interactive discussion, inshallah. Okay, so why did Allah give us emotions and how to manage them? Okay, let us proceed with an analogy. Okay, so Imam Bediuzzaman Said Nursi's methodology, as you all know, is a particular one in which he uses analogies, similitudes, to make difficult issues understandable by us through using examples and analogies. So in this topic also he starts with an analogy. He brings forward two objects. One is a diamond and one is a glass bottle. And so he asks us, how much do we pay for these things? The price of a diamond, 1 gram of diamond is $30,000. Only 1 gram of diamond is $30,000. While the price of this glass bottle can be less than $1, right? So here comes the question. Would you pay the price of a diamond for a glass bottle? Would any one of us pay the price of a diamond? That is, for this diamond, I don't know what huge number it's gonna be, right? So how much do you pay for this, right? As opposed to a glass bottle. So would you pay, in the world terms, would you pay all the money that is necessary to buy this diamond? Would you pay it to buy a glass bottle? Of course, no rational human being on earth, even a small child, is not gonna do that, right? So here comes the question. So Imam Bediuzzaman says this diamond is the matters of the hereafter, and the glass bottle is the matters of this world. So the diamond is very valuable, right? And Jannah is also very valuable. And the things that will make us earn Jannah, the matters that will make us close to Jannah, go to Jannah, right? Winning the pleasure of Allah, abstaining from haram, performing, the ibadat. So these things are as valuable as a diamond, right? And the matters of this world are so cheap, are nothing in terms of value and in terms of strength, right? Because, for example, a glass can be broken so easily, while a diamond is so strong. A glass is not beautiful, while a diamond is so beautiful. a glass is not a long lasting because it's not strong, but the diamond is so long lasting. So the matters of akhirah are long lasting, they are beautiful. So akhirah is long lasting and akhirah is beautiful, while this world is not. So in the first analogy, what we said we have money, a huge amount of money. So would you pay this money, and you have enough money to be able to buy a diamond? So would you pay that huge amount of money to buy the diamond, or would you pay it, to buy the glass bottle? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us emotions, thousands of emotions. Imam Bediuzzaman says human being is equipped with thousands of emotions, and they are given to buy, quote unquote, the matters of akhirah, to buy the diamond, right? So they are given to be able to go to Jannah. They are given to earn the good pleasure of Allah. They are given to perform ibadah. They are given to believe in Allah. They are given to know about Allah. So they are given to be spent on the matters of hereafter. So if we spend them on the matters of this world, it will be like using that most valuable and permanent and high emotions for the matters of this world, which will be a glass bottle. So Imam Bediuzzaman says the matters to do with this world are like pieces of glass. Matters to this world are like pieces of glass that will be broken, while the lasting matters of the akhirah are as precious as flawless diamonds. So Allah gives us feelings, and among them Imam Bediuzzaman brings forward initially these things. Intense curiosity. Allah gave us a feeling of curiosity, that's a feeling, and it's so intense, and we become curious about so many things, right? And that curiosity draws us into it, drags us into it, and it drags so many other feelings, right, together with it. So fervent love, again, love is very central. It is so central that when you love something, you will draw all other feelings for it. Imam Bediuzzaman says in another part of Risalah An-Nur, in the 11th flash, he says all other feelings and emotions, they are multifarious forms of love. Because when you love something, right, you address other emotions accordingly. For example, you love money, okay? So if you don't have money, if your friend has money, so you will envy your friend. Why? Because your friend has something that you love, right? So that love of dunya, for example, will make you an envious person, a jealous person, to be jealous of your even friends or even family members, right? But if you love Allah, for example, so then you will have, you will attach no real importance to money, and you will not break your relationship with your friends and with your family members because of that worldly and ephemeral thing. So you see, the way you direct love will also affect, how you direct the other feelings of yours. And terrible greed. We are greedy, right, for things, and stubborn desires. We have desires for so many things. And other intense, innate human emotions were given to gain the matters of the hereafter. So valuable things, right, as huge capital, incomparable to the money and wealth of this world. With no money, we can buy these things, by the way, right? Allah created us in such a way that we are just flesh and bones, and Allah equipped us with, non-physical, with spiritual abilities, of thousands kinds, right? And they are given to us not to spend on the matters of this world, which are like glasses to be broken, but to the matters of akhirah, which is like diamond, that is permanent and so beautiful and valuable. So this is an introduction about the purpose, all right, according to Imam Bediuzzaman, about the purpose of the emotions, why they are given to human beings, okay, because they are needed. We use them while believing in Allah. We use them while worshipping. For example, thanking Allah, gratitude. So it is a feeling, the feeling of thankfulness, right? The feeling of appreciating something, right? So you feel indebted, okay? So this is a feeling. right? So we feel indebted to people, we feel indebted to things around, I mean, whoever helps us. So that's a feeling, right? So that feeling is to be especially used, is given actually to be used to be directed to Allah. Okay, so we will inshallah further detail this topic. All right, so Brother Yunus Emre, would you like to continue from this point on? We cannot hear you, Brother Yunus Emre, sorry. You are muted.
Okay, sorry for that. So human has a unique type of love and is a passionate sort of love. We are the creators of love. We have infinite capacity for love. We first love ourselves, our wives, our parents, our children, friends, ancestors, great people, food, beautiful things, spring and summer, the entire world. So we love everything. We have that capacity. This is in our nature. It is given to us. So when we direct our love towards transient things, which are worldly, and if we forget our purpose of life in this life, love actually causes us or will cause us continuous pain. The worldly things we love are not really worth such passionate love we have. When we realize this, it leads us to search for something that deserves that passionate love. If you find what we look for that deserves passionate love, then the passing love, this emotional love we have, actually transforms into a true love. Now, there are two options before us: love with heedlessness, ghafla, or love with awareness. So what is a heedless love? First, this is about absolute heedlessness. First one. If we love illicit things, haram things, this absolutely reaches to a dead end. Allah has forbidden certain things. When we commit them, we certainly lose, even in this world. There is no real gain. That blessed feeling of love, the love we have, becomes a painful emotion. The apparent pleasure in loving the forbidden things should not deceive us. And there's a second type of heedlessness, and this is loving things passionately, as if they are permanent in this world, as if we are not going to be separated from them. Sometimes we love things forgetting that they are not eternal, that they do not exist by themselves, that they do not belong to us. We forget these facts. So this passionate love may cause great disappointments for us. We see this especially when we lose someone we really love or something that we like very much. So the other option is love with awareness. So what is love with awareness? Allah created the heart, our heart, for believing, knowing, and loving Him. On the other hand, our hearts also love other things, so that we understand this emotion of love, so that we can find a way to the love of Allah. So if we love in the way the Quran commands us, then the feeling of love, the emotional love, will be a blissful, a blessed emotion. We will love things for the sake of Allah. Most importantly, we will love Allah the most. More than our mothers, more than our fathers, more than our friends. We will love Allah most when we explore this. And this is the right way of using the emotion of love. We should put the love of Allah at the center. Yeah, this is what can I say about love and how to manage this emotion of love, Brother Yusuf.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother Yunus Emre. Yes, love is, as we said, it's central emotion, and Imam Bediuzzaman gives the love as a comparison also for the next emotions that he is going to address. So, as brother Yunus Emre mentioned, it has two levels, right? So, one is the ephemeral or perpetual or worldly aspect and way of using it, and one is the true way of using it, the true purpose it is given. So then Imam Bediuzzaman says human being possesses thousands of emotions, each of which has 2 degrees, like love, one ephemeral, worldly, and the other true. So then he gives 3 emotions as an example. Inshallah, we will address these 3 emotions basically today. Accordingly, inshallah, we will be able to compare it to other feelings of ours. So intense anxiety about future. Yes, we have anxiously, we are quite anxious, right, about our life. Of course, we are sent to this world and we live in it. Mostly, people live in it quite long, isn't it? For, let's say, 60 years, 80 years, 100 years. Of course, it's a long time. And we experience a lot of things in it. We go through difficulties and hardships. So it all makes us, having an anxiety about what is coming next, what's going to happen in the future. Because today we are suffering, or today we are, dealing with this problem. So what's going to come next? What is going to be tomorrow, right? So it automatically makes human beings anxious, of course, about the future. But this leads into anxiety, which is a psychological problem, right? Various forms of anxiety. Even some people, they don't know why they are created. They have existential crisis. They have an ontological problem. So they don't know why they exist, and whatever is going to happen today, because they don't believe in Allah. They are 100% anxious about future. So since due to the absence of faith, they think everything is under no control. Everything is going on its own. But as we believe everything is under the control of Allah, of course, this is soothing, right? Our anxiety towards future. But even in Muslims, even among believers, we have this feeling of anxiety, and we still address it, direct it to the worldly things ahead of us after 10 years, 20 years, or even tomorrow. So Imam Bediuzzaman says, again, just like love, we can use it in 2 ways. One will damage us, and one is the way that it should be, and that will satisfy us. So likewise, anxiety, right, about future, so also has 2 ways to be used. Okay, 2 ways to be used. One is again for ephemeral, worldly, and the other is the true way. So why the question here? Why the anxiety is given to us? So there are 2 ways we can use it. Either we can direct it to the matters of the world. Okay, you remember the first part, the first slide, the matters of the world, glass, right? Or we will direct it to the matters of akhirah, that is the diamond. So why do we think the anxiety is given? Why something so valuable is given? Why something that is continuous, that never stops, right, is given and draws other emotions with it? So should we use it, something so valuable, for the matters of the world, or should we use it for akhirah? So Imam Bediuzzaman, in his methodology, he compares, right, the matters of the world with the matters of akhirah, and he brings closer to our, ration, to our reason, okay, to making us decide how I should use it. So he shows us the worldly consequences, okay, of misusing our abilities and our potentials. So anxiety is not something to be doomed. Why are you so anxious? Anxiety is necessary. It is not to be blamed. It is not something negative, right, by default. It is a feeling. It is a potential to be used. But according to Imam Bediuzzaman, again, there is no negative emotion and positive emotion, yet there is a negative or wrong use of emotion, and there is a positive and right use of emotions. So anxiety is an emotion, it is a potential. So how it is going to be used? If we use it for the matters of this world, okay, only, or let's say 90%, 95%, 99%, okay, although we are believers, then he talks about 3 negative consequences. And he makes us, turn away from using it for the world and to make us use it for the matters of akhirah. So after this long introduction into these feelings, so we quickly, inshallah, will proceed going through the 3 examples, all right? Okay, so for the anxiety, he says, there is no guarantee. I mean, you are anxious about future after 10 years. Okay, what's going to happen after my graduation? Okay, or I mean, I should have a good job. All right, you are too anxious about future, or you are anxious about your family, your children. You have to learn a language, for example, right, for your future. If you don't learn a language, so you don't have, I mean, you may not have a good future. You may not be rivaling or competing with others. So these are some of the things, right, that people are thinking nowadays. Or you make, for example, insurance for your car, for your home, for whatever, right? Because you are anxious about any catastrophe ahead of us, right? Or we are, again, making our children go to, good courses and to study so that they have a good future. So we all about, are concerned and anxious about future. But Imam Bediuzzaman says, there is no guarantee that you will live, another 1 year. Or there's no guarantee you will live another 1 day, or another 10 years, another 20 years, 50 years. So there is no guarantee, right, about the thing that you are so anxious. So, I mean, no need to be too anxious about it because there is no guarantee. And secondly, if we are concerned or anxious about our livelihood, it is promised, it is under guarantee, right? It is under guarantee by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our, rizq is going to be sustained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah says, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Right? So, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision. So everything on earth, right? Every living thing on earth, its provision is on Allah. So there is no need to worry about it. But in terms of rizq, Imam Bediuzzaman says there are 2 rizq. One is rizq al-haqiqi and one is rizq al-majazi. So which one is the true rizq, the basic essentials, which is under guarantee, which is guaranteed by Allah, so no need to worry about it. But if you aim at more extra things, of course that's not under guarantee. It depends on how much you work. It depends on whether Allah is going to give it to you or not. So you don't have to worry too much about the essential rizq because it's under guarantee. Of course you have to work for it as well. So, if this is the thing that you are anxious about, right? And thirdly, the future is so brief. I mean, if you are too anxious about the future, but it's actually so brief. I mean, why are you so anxious about it, right? So, after seeing these 3 phases of anxiety over the matters of the world, the consequences, the 3 realities within it, he, understands that it doesn't worth such terrible anxiety. But on the other hand, then he turns his gaze to the matters of akhirah and to the akhirah, and he finds that everyone will reach that. In this world, there is no guarantee, right, that we will live another 1 year or 100 or 10 years. But there is a guarantee for everyone that everyone will go to akhirah, and we will all be, put to accountants, right? So I mean, we will all be put to account. I mean, whatever we did in this world, right, will be measured, and whether we will go directly to Jannah or someone will go to Jahannam eternally, and will come back to Jannah, etc. So there is this thing that the case that has been opened, right, as we discussed before. So this case is opened, in front of everyone. And secondly, the rizq here, sustenance in the world is guaranteed, but the Jannah is not guaranteed. The good end in akhirah is not guaranteed for anyone. I mean, not for anyone, is not guaranteed for especially the ghafilin, the heedless people. So we have to really actually be conscious about that one, right? We have to be conscious about our true end that we will all face. We have to be conscious about the thing, Jannah, that is not guaranteed, while our rizq, sustenance is guaranteed. And akhirah is too long, is never ending, while this world is too short. So he understands that actually it is not wise, rational, to direct, the intense feeling of anxiety to the matters of this world. So he changes, its direction and worries, and becomes anxious about the matters of akhirah. So this is how Imam Bediuzzaman compares the consequences of using the intense anxiety about this world, versus using it for the matters of akhirah, and makes us, be conscious about how it should be used. So yeah, so Brother Yunus, you can inshallah continue with the next.
Yeah, let me talk about this ambition of possession.
If you have any comments on this one also, you can.
Okay, thanks. Very nice explanations from you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me talk about this ambition for possession and worldly position. Well, we show this intense ambition for the possessions of this world and worldly positions, ranks, and it is very strong in humans. And there's a hadith pointing at this. Our Prophet ﷺ said, if Adam's son, the human beings, had a valley full of gold, he would like to have 2 valleys. That means if he had one valley of gold, he would ask for the second one. We can also say this, we would ask the third one or the fourth one. So we are really have this ambition for possessions in this life. Now, the properties, the wealth we have, or the position of authority we have, they are in reality under our supervision temporarily in this life. We cannot have them eternally. We can have them only for a few decades. And having them eternally is not possible. Not realizing this is a real danger for us. It causes great loss, especially in the hereafter, and actually even in this world. Rasulullah ﷺ said, 2 hungry wolves sent in the midst of a flock of sheep are no more destructive to them than a man's greed for wealth and fame to his religion. Okay, maybe 2 hungry wolves just attacks a flock of sheep. They cause destruction, but our greed, humans' greed for wealth and fame, is much more destructive to our religion. So it's a real danger for our religion and thus for our hereafter. Let's remember Qarun from the past. Allah mentions Qarun in the Quran. Allah gave him treasures, and the keys of that treasure could be carried only by a group of strong men. So it's a huge treasure. People actually warned him about this, but he didn't listen to them, and he said, well, I was only given this treasure or this wealth because of my knowledge. So he was really proud. And he forgot that Allah had actually destroyed before him many generations, and they were greater than him in power and wealth. So one day when he came out before his people in his adornment, some people who desired the worldly life said, if only we also had what was given to Qarun. They really desired that wealth, that possessions the Qarun had. But on the other hand, the people of knowledge said the reward of Allah is better. Yeah, they didn't show any ambition for the wealth of Qarun, and they said the reward of Allah in the hereafter are better. And as you may remember, finally Allah made the earth swallow Qarun and his wealth altogether, and there was no one to help him to save him. But still we have this emotion for ambition for worldly possessions and for worldly positions. So what shall we do with it? What to do with that? We have to realize that the transient possessions, fame, and high position are not worth intense ambition. We need to turn away from them. And when someone who realizes this reality, he turns towards spiritual positions and degrees. So what are spiritual positions and degrees? It is the position or the degree in the sight of Allah, in closeness to Allah. And actually this is the true position. The true position we should have ambition for. So that person turns towards good deeds for the hereafter, which are real property. And in this way, he can transform worldly ambition, and we can also do this, we can transform our worldly ambition into true ambition, which is ambition for attaining the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah said, when carried to his grave, that person is followed by three things. And two of them return after the burial, and just one of them remain with that person. The relatives, his property, and his deeds follow him until the grave. After burial, relatives, friends and family, and his properties, his wealth, go back.
Yeah.
But his deeds, his righteous deeds, his amal, remain with him in the grave. So this is what I can say about this ambition for worldly possessions and worldly positions. We should transform them from the, as you said, ephemeral worldly things and into the other worldly things. We should have this ambition to gain good deeds for the hereafter and to gain the degree in closeness to Allah, inshallah.
Great, mashallah. Thank you. So you mean it is destructive if we use it for the world? It destroys us, and it also stops us from gaining what we are ambitious about. And it is destructive, it is negative. But when we use it for Allah, and the good, possession can be, the amal salih, good deeds that we will all, as you have mentioned from the hadith, we will take it with us. So that is the good possession that will be with us and that will truly benefit us in the long journey of akhirah. And the positions or rank can be closeness to Allah, right?
Yeah.
The rank that we have before Allah. So that is the true rank and continuous rank. And the ranks of this world are, again, destructive. When we have a maqam, when we have a position in this world, other people will be envious about us, or there will be enemy towards us, right? They will try to undermine us. Subhanallah.
When we say this, that this doesn't mean the Muslims does not necessarily to be rich, or they don't have to have high positions. May Allah increase their number, but may Allah also help them deal with the test of worldly wealth, the test of high positions. They are really, they need to struggle when they have this wealth and worldly ranks.
Yes, that's very right. I mean, we when we want something, it can be anything, small or big. We have to want it for the sake of Allah. And as you said, it can be big also. I mean, when we are brought to a good position, a high position in anywhere, in government or in a company, so we can use that position as a means to serve the ummah, to serve the humanity. Right? So that's again a high position before Allah. So a high position in the world can serve to have a high position before Allah, right?
Yeah.
Because we use that position, or we use that wealth as a means for, the pleasure of Allah, for gaining the pleasure of Allah. But if we want that wealth, if we want that position for the satisfaction, for the gratification of our nafs, then that is the problem.
True.
Right? That is the problem, and we will not be satisfied with it. It will bring more problems. Even in the world, we will not be satisfied, and in the long run, in akhirah, it has no benefits. Wanting it and owning it for the sake of the world has no benefit for akhirah.
Right.
Yes, may Allah make all of us, inshallah, of those who can make this balance, right? So
True.
we are living in this world, but not to be, drawn in this world is important. We should float on it. We should float on the sea, on the ocean of this world. We should not be drawn in it. Or our hands should be in this world, but our heart should not be in this world. Our heart should be with Allah,
Right.
and we should just benefit from this world in order to improve our iman, in order to improve our ma'rifatullah, muhabbatullah, our ibadah, and to gain the good pleasure of Allah. Ameen. Yes, so of course these are very important topics, and when we talk about this kind of issues, right? Again, Prophet ﷺ says, "Hubbu dunya ra'su kulli khati'atin." The love for this world is the head of all mistakes. So talking about it again from the perspective of the particular emotion, that is ambition, for example, for that possession, for that rank, and also describing it, why this emotion is given to you, and the consequences are such, right? And to change the direction of the emotion is very nice analogy, and is very nice analysis of the Imam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless shower his mercy upon him, inshallah. So the last emotion that the Imam Bediuzzaman mentions in this epistle is intense obstinacy. Of course, obstinacy is another feeling that is very intense. Human being feels that. Some people feel more obstinacy, stubbornness, in themselves towards something. Some people have less obstinacy. Again, human being every human being is a different world, right? Every human being is a different world. So some people have one emotion more stronger, the other emotions less stronger, while other people's are vice versa. So obstinacy, we all have it to some degree. We all have it. So is it something bad? Obstinacy is something to be blamed. We should leave it totally. We should have no obstinacy, or is it again a potential given to us to use it for something good? Of course, we depict in this picture in a negative way, right? But obstinacy, all the feelings are given for good. For example, like knife. We can think about knife, okay? So knife, can we call it as a good or bad? I mean, it is necessary. It is something, it is produced, right, for a good reason. But some people use it for bad. So we cannot call it as a bad instrument, right? So all the feelings are again like this knife, all right? They are important. They are used. Knife is used to slice our breads, or to slice anything, to cut anything. So all of our feelings are also needed, right, for particular reasons. For example, obstinacy. Why is it needed? If somebody, for example, a student, if he doesn't have obstinacy, he cannot, persistently, continue to study his courses, his subjects. Or someone, to be punctual, for example, punctuality is again another, requires obstinacy, right? It requires stubbornness to be obstinate. I'm gonna be punctual, right? So this is something to be obstinate and persistent about, right? But of course, so without obstinacy, we cannot do that. So we need that. It is given for that reason. But of course, sometimes we use our obstinacy to be enemy to people. So when somebody makes a mistake and we become obstinate not to forgive that person, right? We don't forget that mistake throughout our life. So that is the wrong use of the feeling of obstinacy. Of course, the feeling is like water. it can go anywhere. But you have to manage and you have to arrange where it should go. Otherwise, it can just go everywhere, right? So we should keep it from going to, and we should be forgiving, right, in those cases. So Imam Bediuzzaman says people sees that transient property. People see that he pursues for a year something not worth even a minute's obstinacy. Sometimes we are obstinate over for example, somebody made a mistake to you. You don't forgive him for even 1 year, but even that doesn't worth, right, obstinacy of even 1 minute. And also obstinacy, when we are obstinate to gain something, it also can be damaging and causing harm to us. So we should change its direction, and we should use our obstinacy for right purposes and for right things that would truly benefit our dunya as well as akhirah. So we should be obstinate in terms of gaining a strong iman, okay, supplementing our iman, right? That needs persistence. So when we use and also, for example, ibadat, right, our duties, our services for Allah and for humanity, serving them for the sake of Allah, they all need the feeling of obstinacy. So Imam Bediuzzaman says this obstinacy, okay, ambition, all right, which may be a bad quality, will be transformed. The worldly obstinacy, okay, which is a bad quality. Worldly obstinacy is the bad quality, is transformed into true obstinacy, the true form that is given for, right? That is ardent steadfastness and constancy, right, in what is right, fine, and good quality. So to be able to mustaqim, right, to be able to upright and steadfast in straight path, we also need obstinacy, right? Not to go astray even one time. That needs obstinacy. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us use, inshallah, our potentials for good sake. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Okay, Brother Yunus, I leave it to you to continue, inshallah.
We talk about 3 examples, actually. So all of these 3 examples show that if we use the emotions given to us on account of the nefis, the lower self, and this world, and if we behave heedlessly in ghafla, as if we are going to stay in this world, we are going to remain in this world forever, forgetting the death, these emotions will be the cause of bad morals, bad akhlaq, and they will actually be misspent, and they will be futile. Allah gave us those emotions according to a wisdom. So if we don't use them in the right way, actually we are acting against that wisdom. And if we use just some part of those emotions on the matters of this world, and more part of an emotion on the spiritual duties for the hereafter, these emotions given to us by Allah become the source of good morals, good akhlaq, and they become the means to happiness both in this world and in the next. And actually acting according to this, using the emotions, less part of it for this world and more part of it for the hereafter, or in the way the Quran commands, is really in accordance with the wisdom that Allah gave us those emotions.
Yes.
I think that's all I can say.
So how can we use most of our emotions? I mean, our emotion, okay, there's one emotion, how we should use it for the world and for akhirah? What is the ratio, or what do you mean by most of it, more of it? I mean, because I mean, it is one emotion, right? So we have to manage using it for the world and for akhirah.
Yeah, I think, we live in this world for a transient time, but we will live in the hereafter for eternity. So I think that will give us an opinion how we should make the balance. I don't know, what do you think?
Yes, this is what I mean. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. So talking about the good morality, because the emotions, they are the sources, right, of our actions. So right use of emotions will lead to, yes, good morality. And also Imam Bediuzzaman talks about 3 modes of using our abilities. That is ifrat, tafrit, and wasat. Right? So the excess level, negligence level, and the moderate level. It should be the just level, the perfect level. So, and he gives 3 faculties which are very central again. The power of reason, quwwa al-aqliya, the power of anger, quwwa al-ghadabiyya, and the power of animal appetites, that is quwwa al-shahawiyya. And he says that they can be used either in excess mode, right, or in negligence level, or in the moderate level. So inshallah, we refer our audience for further reading on this to the 11th flash, that is the epistle on the Sunnah, so they can see how these 3 powers can be used in 3 ways. Okay, so finally, we can also say that when we give advice to each other, when we give advice to our children, when we give advice to our friends, or when the scholars, ulama, khutaba, right, the preachers, when they give advice, right, to their people. So Imam Bediuzzaman says they should not say, don't do this, right? They should not say, they should make a proposal that is, that is possible for them to be performed, because we should not tell them to change their nature, right? So, they have anger. Don't be angry. No, they have the feeling of anger. What they should be angry for? Don't be obstinate. No, they have the feeling of obstinacy. Tell them to use, Imam Bediuzzaman says, they should tell them to why this feeling is given for them. Yeah, right? Given for. And how they should use it. We should not tell the people to not perform and practice, right? To not practice their feelings. They exist and they cannot be removed. This is part and parcel of human beings. And this is how, inshallah, our advices can be taken, inshallah, right, can be accepted and can be performed by our adversaries.
Let me give you an example about that. I think my one. I have 2 daughters, and the older one, well, she's 4 years old, and she likes to jump. Children likes to jump. They are always active, moving there and here. So when you say, when she's jumping, when you say don't jump, it doesn't work. You should channel it. Saying don't jump does not help you. Maybe you can say, well, okay, jump, but jump here or jump there. So in that way, you do not stop the child, but you just channel that desire for jumping in another place. So that way it works, and you also get what you want.
Yes, correct. So finally, just to conclude our discussion today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us thousands of emotions, and they are so valuable, and they are given to get something again so valuable, which is Jannah, which is the pleasure of Allah, right, the Ridwanullah, and using them, employing them for the matters of the world means using a huge amount of money to buy a small glass of bottle, right? So that would be quite foolish, and again that would be against the hikmah, wisdom, and that would be against the truth of our life. And how we direct our emotions again is based on our intention, right? So what is our intention? Imam Bediuzzaman says intention is a ruh, intention is a spirit, and the spirit of that spirit is ikhlas, is sincerity. The spirit of that spirit, the spirit of our intention is ikhlas. So of course when we do anything, Again, innamal a'malu binniyat, right? Our actions are based on our intentions. So we can do the same thing, but if our intention is with ikhlas, with its sincerity, then it will be rewarded. If not, then it will be, punished. I mean, it will be, not be rewarded, but retributed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is why we should, have a right intention of employing our potentials. So this is why we have to have a good intention. We have to have a love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In order to love Allah, we have to know Allah, right? Ma'rifatullah and muhabbatullah. And when we love Allah, we will not want to displease Allah. We will do everything to please Allah. So al-hubbu lillah, then we will love everything for the sake of Allah. And when we love everything for the sake of Allah, again, we will also, our intention, our sincerity, right? Our main feeling, love, will make us, inshallah, to draw other feelings of ours also, inshallah, correctly in the right manner. So we thank all the brothers and sisters who attended our program today on the Facebook and YouTube channel of Khairat Foundation of Turkey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, inshallah, our discussions as an act of ibadah, and may He, inshallah, improve our iman, our ma'rifatullah, our muhabbatullah, our ibadah, and our akhlaq through, inshallah, such discussions. And thank you very much once again for joining, and looking forward to meet you again, inshallah, after 2 weeks. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.